Welcome to Wellness Wednesdays with Sam, the Miracle Man. You'll join a captivating and transformational podcast where we'll explore the extraordinary journey of Sam, a man who overcame all odds to reclaim his life and health. Each Wednesday, Sam shares his inspiring stories of growth, health, and his journey to find wellness through self-care, mental well-being, and physical rejuvenation. We'll also have dynamic and interesting interviews with professionals in health, fitness, spirituality, and personal growth to help you on your journey to uncover the true secrets to living your best life. With just a click, you can subscribe. We will welcome you every week. Now here's your amazing host, Sam.
Hey, Miracle Makers. I hope you're doing well and feeling good. So on this episode of Wednesday Wellness with Sam, the Miracle Man, I talked to Nicole Butler Vegas, and you may find her on Facebook as Nicole Vegas. Basically, we talk about staying in your own power, standing up for you, honoring your boundaries, talking about the power of no, that it's okay to say no if it doesn't resonate with you. All right, well, take good care of yourself. I hope you're living life on your terms. Now, here's Nicole. Welcome, everybody, to Wellness Wednesdays. I'm here with Nicole. Nicole, what's your story? What's your background? And you're an actress, and you just recorded Desert Fiends and all that process here. And so I'm just really wondering about, your self-care, because I hear like being an actress is very stressful, very demanding. So how do you deal with these kind of situations? Maybe a little bit of your background, like how you even got involved in this
Oh,
movie.
that's a lot. I'm going to try to do the meat and potatoes of that. Thank you for
Yeah.
having me on your show and taking the time to get to know me and connect with me. I really appreciate you. I started 2 years ago and 2 months into showbiz, but before that, I do have quite a different background, which I have it on my IMDb page, Nicole Butler the Ninth, but a lot of people know me as Nicole Butler Vegas. Nicole Vegas is my showbiz name, so I'm kind of married into that name now. That's just how it is. Well, I had law enforcement background. I was a cop in North Las Vegas. I'm also a military veteran. I was deployed to Prince Sultan Air Force Base in Saudi. I've been a mother and wife for 25 years, and I've done community service for 12 years. A lot of nonprofits, helping people out, reconnecting them, giving them the tools they need to have a better life. Now with mental health and mental awareness, that showbiz is another area that I never experienced the feelings I had before, being wiped out, depleted, feeling lonely in it. Very, very stuff that you wouldn't think it would be. Usually it looks, oh, look at everything's done, everything's good, glamorous. Not true. There is like 14, 15, 16-hour days on set. The sets, if you're the crew side, could be brutal. I mean, there's a lot of equipment to carry. There's a lot of parts in motion. And then there's also a lot of things with cons and scams that you have to watch out for. People prey on people that are especially new in the showbiz. There's a lot of people then when you start building up your name that will try to use your image or you to gain profit or gain viewers. So that part's really hard too. It's just a lot of thing taking a step back and reevaluating how can I make sure I take care of myself, my mental health. What I usually do is I stay home and I just replenish myself. I'll listen to good music. I'll watch a movie. I'll get back into exercising sometimes. I'll talk to a friend. But when I get to a too much of a dark place, I think I push everybody away and I isolate myself. And that's not healthy.
Okay, yeah, the isolation. So for your self-care, so you do like exercise, things that make you feel good. Have you ever tried anything like meditation or anything like that to try to center yourself?
I never tried. I think I need that. I think I need that to be able to block out the outside noise or get out of my head if I overthink on something or if something's come at me that I'm not aware how to approach it, how to handle it. So I usually will ask other people. If I can't figure it out on my own, I usually reach out to other people to see if they can give me some tools being aware of how to get out of a difficult circumstance.
Right, because that's one of the things that I talk about, all this noise, all this clutters, all this head trash. Help people throw out the head trash. And they think meditation has to be really difficult, really complex. And I tell people my practice was 5 minutes a day. And 5 minutes a day of practice, and 16 months later, I no longer have multiple sclerosis, bipolar, all these ailments. by simply 5 minutes a day of just getting rid of all this mental garbage, all this baggage that we're carrying around. And it's very simple. We think we have to sit like a Zen monk, and we really don't need to do that. It was really just sit in the chair. Mind gets busy. Where are my feet? Where are my hands? Where's my breath? Just coming back into this moment. That's all that's required. But people have all these rules, all these complexities. And that's one of the things you're probably helping people with, with their mental health and your community outreach, was getting them lined up with psychologists, psychiatrists, and that world, or were you helping them in other ways? And
Oh, no, not that. I was doing more hands-on, delivering food, handing out food. When I come across somebody that maybe doesn't have a job, say they had a criminal record, I know Manpower helps people get jobs, even if they have a questionable background, bus passes, medical, dental. Maybe they don't have enough money for their children, so Toys for Tots. It's just resources. There's tons online. People can get the help. I know. I think is the library free? I don't know. Maybe they charge now. There's ways to get resources. There are fellow helpers in your community and globally. It's just connecting with them.
oh, okay, yeah, just connect them. I'm just trying to remember now on, and then Indeed. I know Indeed has something for people that don't have a clean background. It's a fair value. I forget what they actually call it.
Okay.
Where Indeed looks like some employers have this little box now where they can check off, where it's like fair something, where they can get a fair shot of getting that job, which I thought was kind of interesting.
I
Because
like
I
that.
Yeah, because I think when you do have like a record or problems, it's hard to get back into that workforce. And we have to realize, we're human too. We deserve second chances, third chances, whatever they may be. That we're all trying to do our best, but simply this mental noise hijacks us from being really true to ourselves. And I think that's really one of the challenges out there, is being true to yourself, especially when you have all these demands put on yourself and you're trying to fill all these roles. And just staying authentic to ourselves is quite the challenge. I'm sure you face that quite a bit. How do you stay true to yourself when you got all this coming at you?
Well, I get overwhelmed. There's sometimes people are flooding my messages. They're calling me, they're emailing me, and I can't catch it up. I cannot catch up. Sometimes I miss something, and they're like, because did go off, branch off, so no one's trying to control anything I do with Nicole Vegas Views. That's my talk show, and I have people that I didn't respond to right away, and they're like, "Oh, am I not good enough for your show? You not want to set something up with me?" I've had like really a lot of self projection. It had nothing to do with that. I have so much, not just for the talk show or as an actress or as a producer, or as a mother, as a wife, as a friend. It's a lot of my plate. So then I have to pick and choose
Right,
where I give my attention to.
right. Just pick and choose, and just that's where we just have to step back, and everyone really needs to step back and say, everybody's doing their best. Everyone is overwhelmed because we have all this stuff in our head, all this stuff going on around us. And how to find that center point is, and the way we find center point for me, and even Eric Tolle talked about this, the power of now, the power of being in this moment, fully here, not lost in the nonsense, if you will, all these details. Yeah, and that's one of the things you're probably really dealing with too, was, just looking at your Facebook page, trying to get some ideas here, and I saw that somebody looks like they're trying to steal your identity or some previous work you did.
It,
And
well,
it's like it almost seems like a bullying aspect on what they're doing, like following your followers, being really.
well, I broke away. She approached me. She's like, "Hey, I would like you to be a host," and I was really busy. So I was like, no, no. And I said, yes. So I was like, let me come up with Vegas views, because, I live in Las Vegas. And she didn't charge me anything. I guess she charges people to be a host and have their own show. I thought that was ridiculous, because I do so much for the community. I never ask people for money. It's just bizarre. But I told her I'll help her. I helped market her. All the talk shows I did were on her subscription. Never went to mine. She got sponsored. She made a lot of money from red carpet events, and I didn't get it. I got zero money.
Hmm.
So I was getting used. And then she started answering for me like, "Oh, Nicole's too busy. She can't do that." Comes back to me. I'm like, "What do you mean? I'm not busy. I could definitely be there for you. I could help you out." So there's other aspects that I wasn't liking, and she was getting exposed. So she put her good foot forward. pretending to share the same passions with me with nonprofits and connecting people and actually caring. But hers is very motivated by money. When I broke away in March, I changed the Vegas views to Nicole Vegas views. But people still thought I was part of it. And it was really bizarre. Just like with the Instagram thing, I saw that she made a page, Vegas views, has my image on there. I'm not part of that anymore. Somebody else is hosting. I said, have at it, but don't bring me along, stringing people along, because then it's under false pretense that I'm representing that, and I don't represent that. But now I had to blast it because she was messaging people for money, sponsorship, and subscribers to her network. And and people are like, oh, I thought this was you. This isn't you. I was like, no. And that part is so hard. That dirty side of the business is really be careful who you work with and who you connect with. But even if you do find out that they're not credible and they're not good, you can stick up for yourself. Don't be afraid to stick up for yourself.
Right. And that's what you were probably talking about earlier with these cons and scams for people in the business. Like, how do you stand up for yourself and make sure that you're not taken advantage of?
They won't. They come to me, they're like, Nicole, you're just so brave. I'm too afraid. They're afraid they'll never work again. I said, there's millions of productions and millions of podcasts. What are you talking about? They are so afraid to stick up for themselves. So I'm hoping that if they hear this, anybody that's going through something, I can't fight everybody's battle, but I will give them the tools to be able to stick up for themselves and get their power back, to not get bullied or not have people use and abuse them. It's so important, especially in showbiz. It's very prevalent in this industry.
Do you give her like a cease and desist order, like stop using
Well,
this?
I just messaged my lawyer. She wants $350, so now I have to dish out $350. She's in a court right now for something else, but we're filling out the paperwork. Yeah, I have to go that route because I asked her nicely too. It was not like I just went this route. Can you please not do that? Can you please take that down? I don't mind you using the videos of me, but to mislead people with the intentions that I'm actually part of your network, I am not, is very misleading, and she's getting gains from it. So that's something that is criminal in itself. So that's why I had to blast. I had to put it on there and share because a lot of people were messaging me. So I only shared a little bit of messages. She goes, oh, she asked me for this money. She asked me for this. She wants, very weird, very manipulative. So yeah, I'm going to stand my ground with somebody that's criminal. That's somebody that is very unprofessional. If they say they have a business, you don't do that to people.
Right. Life is hard enough, and you'll need this extra stress, if you will, extra difficulties.
I'm standing up for myself. I was like, I have all the proof. I have everything documented. It's not like I'm just making stuff up out of thin air. And it's on her though. If she keeps, and she did block me from that Instagram Vegas views, and everyone's like, oh, she's adding more stuff on you, more of this. I'm like, there's nothing I could do right now until that letter goes out.
Right. That's a shame, they're taking advantage of your image and your
And
probably of your name
volunteering,
and
I
your.
helped her. I didn't ask for a dime or anything. I helped her get money for her show and support her, because I really did feel in the beginning that she actually genuinely cared. She doesn't. And that's I mean, the thing is, I could speak it, but eventually they will expose themselves for who they are. And the truth only hurts people that are not truthful.
Right, because they don't know the real story. They keep telling different stories because it's not true, so they keep reinventing stuff.
Yeah, so I said, you can keep going. I said, I will stand my ground. And I hopefully anybody that is connected to her in any way, because she has different shows, if they're paying for that show to be on it, then they should have it on their YouTube link. It should not go to hers. They should have their own group page. It should not go to hers. So they have to watch out when people are manipulating people and they are making money off of people, and they're doing all the gains. They're getting all the subscribers, all the money, all the views, and they're doing the work and paying for it. That doesn't make sense.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes,
It's like
exactly.
those scams, like when someone steps outside and looks like, why? That doesn't make sense. Why did you do that? I was a sucker. And I don't want to be that way. But at the same time, I guess I have to treat that showbiz differently. I can't always step up and volunteer. I mean, I help clean up people's yards or houses. I dressed as an Easter bunny. I was so hot. It was so hot in Vegas that the chocolate was melting when I was going to the cars. I just can't do that for everybody, especially in showbiz. A lot of them, they've never know how to help out themselves, let alone going out and helping out other people. I feel that they're users and they're cons and they're scams, and they show this image that what they are. I was like, let me see that behind the scene. Let's see who you really are. I like that part too. So I'm like, I know what I'm bringing, and you could look every which way. I mean, I'm going to be 44. I'm going to be 44. So for almost 44 years, I am who I say I am. I don't, but when I'm meeting new people in this industry, I don't know who they are. I don't know their history. No one, until it's too little too late. Sometimes you get stuck in that and you're like, oh, now I know why she didn't have many views or many people after 7 years of having something. Naive. That's what I get for not educating myself. Lessons learned.
Right, but the thing is, too, you don't want to beat yourself up either. You don't want to really call yourself naive or whatever, because that's not really helpful to the body. That's not really helpful to self-care. Because when I see people that are constantly attacking themselves, if you will, with this criticism or judgment, they usually make themselves sick. With autoimmune diseases or anything like that, is just that we have to really be kind and gentle with ourselves and saying, I'm doing my best. I'm trying to deal with all these fires, but I can only take care of this one right now.
Yes, I'm gonna. I ran out of water. I'm gonna have to replenish myself. No, but at the same time, I could feel it. I could feel my stomach. So I have ginger in my tea. I have ginger, and I like this little saying. But it goes for a lot of people. There's people that have been in this. It's not just showbiz. There's teachers that go through things. I interviewed them, and they were getting used and abused, and they were afraid of saying no. It's okay to say no.
Mm. I think that's really important. It's okay to say no, and I think it's a real good message that people need to hear out there. Is maybe you start a new campaign. It's okay to say no, and stand up for actors and actresses. It's okay to say no. You're not going to get blacklisted because you called someone out.
Yeah. And that's the hardest thing. Learning about yourself, and you are showing people how to treat you. So if you're a pushover and they keep doing it, and all of a sudden you finally are working on yourself to have healthy boundaries, and then you finally put it up, they don't like it.
Mm.
It's one of those, they do not like it. And they're like, where's this coming from? You're always there. You're always helping out. You're always giving. Now you're saying no to me? Because there has to be a limit. Givers and takers. Givers are always giving. They don't have that limit. You have to learn how to have a limit, and takers are always taking. And you
Mhm.
have to be very careful. Really pay attention when someone comes into your life. Who are they and what they're about? Yeah, they might have a title. Doesn't mean that's their character. They're just hiding behind it. Who are they? Figure them out. So if they're going to be harmful, or they're actually caring and they want to be supporting you and help you out, or maybe inspiring you. So really, I think who you hang out with says a lot about you too as well. Are they uplifting? Are they encouraging? Are they supporting you? Are they sharing your information? Minimal thing, like a post, share it. That's minimal to support, just like your talk show. It's just a little bit of support. Now, you're not asking them for money. You're not having them do all this work for you for free. I mean, pay attention to the people that are entering your life, and they won't always be there. Maybe they're teaching you a lesson. Some are a blessing. What is it? But always be grateful to be on that right side of the dirt. That's what I say. We are here for a limited amount of time. We don't know. So what can we do once we build that platform? How do we give back? Do you give back? Can you raise that vibration with community awareness and connection? Huge.
Right, that is huge. Yeah, pay attention to the people and also pay attention to life itself. Don't get lost in the busyness of life to forget, really about yourself as well. Pay attention to the people yourself. Are they supporting you, uplifting you, or just draining you, and see what they can get from you? I think that is so important.
Yeah, I'm learning. I mean, obviously, when people are like, "Oh, you give so much good information," how do they think I came up with it? From lessons? Like a lot of lessons, because there are people that they actually do want to help other people out. They're at a platform now where they can give back, and it feels good to do that. There's so many people. I had so many letters throughout the years of, "Oh my gosh, thank you so much. You inspired me to do better for myself, to work on myself." You can give them the tools, but you can't do their work. So there's people that want you to do all their work for them. You can't. You
Right.
can redirect them, but that's ultimately up to them to be better and to do better and to think better and to feel better. They have to do the work themselves.
Right.
We can do it. We can talk about it and we could share it and we could give them some different ways of coping and being, but it's up to them.
Right.
Their attitude on what they want to do, not they're waiting for it to just fall in their lap. Nothing just falls in your lap. Never happens. Never seen it. You have to go out there and be a doer. You have to do it.
You have to do some work. That's as my work as a healer, I can't take you to the healing state, if you will. I can show you the path, but ultimately you have to walk that path. You can't
Yes.
expect to go to a doctor's office and say, he's going to fix me. No, or she's going to fix me. No, you have to do the work, whether it's take medicine, better diet, whatever the doctor suggests, and see if it resonates with you. Then you need to follow along. You just can't sit there on your chair all day or sofa and say, I'm going to get better now, not doing anything.
And I noticed another thing too. There's people that, what does a friend definition? Is a friend having to take on other people's bad choices and responsibilities? I don't think so. That's
Right.
what I sit there, like everything just got dumped on me like a landslide, just dumping the remote. It's like, no, what are you going to do? This is the problem. Either you create it or someone that you're connected to create it for you. What are you going to do about it? How are you going to handle this? And if anything, if it can be resolved, resolve it. If it can't, sever that tie, sever it out. If not, it will pull you down.
Right. It just reminded me that you need these healthy boundaries of not losing yourself and saying, yeah, you want me to do this, but this doesn't feel right to me. I'm not going to do that. And it's going back to it's okay to say no.
Isn't it? It is okay. But when you say no, just know some people don't want to hear that and they will give a backlash. Oh, well, you help so and so. Why can't you help me? What do you mean? No, I really need this from you. You don't have to give it.
Right.
That is
Staying with,
not your responsibility to fix everybody else's problems. You could support them and say, hey, I see that's happening to you. Let me see what I can pull to redirect you. But this is ultimately your issue right now. However, if it's something more where that person that they have an issue with is going to come to me now and cause you have to be careful. Really know the company you keep, but also stand up for yourself. And you don't have to it's not for you to make other people happy. And there's people pleasers. So it's not your responsibility to make other people happy and to do their work. Don't do it. You don't have to do it. You could stop anytime and make sure you're taking care of yourself first. Because if you don't take care of yourself first, you're good to nobody else. Whatever's going on and you're sulking in your misery and your pain, you will cause it for other people indirectly, not knowing,
Mhm.
with bad choices, bad actions, the way you talk to people. It will show in the way you are.
Right. You can really feel that energy from people coming in, and whether in misery or whatever it is, you can feel they walk in the room, they bring that energy, especially the energy of anger. Somebody walks into the room angry, they don't have to say a word. You can just feel that vibe that they're
Oh
giving off.
yeah, you could. Yeah, some people can. Some people are oblivious. They're in their own little thing. Maybe it's safer that way. But there are people that they can pick up on that. Or I've had people where they self-project whatever they feel about themselves. They will spit it out at me. Has nothing to do with me, but it's a reflection of how they want to be, and they know that they're not there yet. So I had a lot of people saying, about my looks, like, oh, you're so pretty. Or if I was this skinny, I said, you know what? I was 200 pounds before, 210 to be exact. Don't tell me and self-project on me. So I didn't know at first, I used to just laugh it off, but it's not okay for people to self-project on other people like that. Not okay.
Right. I don't think they're even aware that they're doing it. They're just
Some
not
are when
aware.
you point it out, but no, they're not. They're just so in their misery of their insecurities that they just spew it out. They become toxic. And when the bad outweighs the good, I have to take a step back. I'll bring it to their attention to see if they can correct it. But if they can't and they're harming me in any way, I have to step back. You have to take care of yourself.
Right. Have those healthy boundaries, say no and say, this is the best way I can support you. And that's it. Take it or leave it. But that's all I'm going to help you with.
Yeah. And if it gets to the point where they start doing like this lady is doing to me, um, then I have to take no legal action. I was like, oh my goodness, I can't believe I have to go that route. I really, I sent her a message, like, don't speak for me, don't do this. But she kept on doing things to me. And maybe that's, she just can't help it, or she doesn't care to be respectful. She just didn't care. It is all about her. And then when people are like that, you have to stick up for yourself. But then you find out they're not just like that to you. So when you have someone treat you bad, you're like, oh, what did I do? What is going on? It's not you. Because then you find out they're doing it to everybody, and no one's ever pointed out or stood up for themselves.
Right. So who knows what other businesses she's mimicked and gotten away with, if you
Oh,
will.
yeah. There's a couple I do know, actually, like Ninan. She used to work for her too, like not work for her, but help her out and stuff like that. It was actually she was getting paid. See, that's what different. So Ninan, there was a guy, Michael Doran and Kevin T, that were part, and they came forward too. So no, it's not just, but they didn't tell me till afterwards. I had to find out the hard way. Others won't though. They'll know. So when they ever say, "Oh, Nicole, you were right," but I still went in, that I ain't part of that. I gave a heads up. So you can find out the hard way, or you can get a little heads up and protect yourself more. So if you do business with people, make sure you have a contract.
Mm. Right.
Have a
So
contract.
so you're standing up and people can see, oh, she stood up, so I guess it's okay for me to stand up.
Yeah, no, it's okay. Someone has to pave that way. Usually it's somebody that has to do all the groundwork, and then everybody's like, "Oh, I think I like this path. I think I'll go join you." I was like, "No, no, no. You make your own path. No, no riding the coattail here. Make your own path. Put in your own work." But yeah, it's different. But I am older, so and I have different background. I think that helped me be able to be more aware and to how to approach the issue that was happening. Now, if I didn't have that background, or I didn't know how to document, or if I didn't know how to stick up for myself, I think I would just get walked over, like a lot of people have in this industry, walked all over.
Well, I think as part of your training from law enforcement, you learn how to be assertive, how to assert yourself, or you wouldn't survive.
I know I probably wouldn't. They would have chewed me out and spit me out, but the skin's pretty tough. You might break the teeth if you try to chew on this one. I'm just saying. Uh, but I do feel good when I'm able to help other people out, and know that anything that I had to experience eventually will come to other people. It's not like it's like, oh, I'm just going through it. It will definitely come. Other people have to experience their own uh strifes in life. So what can you do? What can you learn? And how can you apply it?
And to have the awareness to apply it. I think a lot of people lack that awareness, or maybe they're really lacking the confidence and trust in themselves, because I think society really beats up a lot of people and they don't learn confidence, they don't learn trust.
You're right. You are right. I had people come to me. I was in college, didn't finish it because I can't pass math. I'm like, loser to me. It's all right. I'm fine. But there are people that were so book smart, but they walk like this. I was like, someone must have really picked on them to take their confidence away. I give it back. I said, if I was as smart as you, I probably would be gloating on it. I'd be like, yes, I am the valedictorian. Yeah, I would be like, but they don't, because usually other people have put them down and chopped them down, and they don't have anymore because they believed what the other people were saying to be true.
Hmm.
They believed what they were getting taunted and teased at to be true, and they felt like they had little worth, and that's not true. They have big value. They were just around the wrong people, and they didn't have the people to help them, uplift them and support them. And that is so important, to make sure you have good people around you.
Right, absolutely. Because we take these negative stories and we take them as our truth. And I say our greatest addiction is our addiction to our negative thoughts, taking them as facts, as truth, and they're simply not. They're noise that we're taking as allowing to define us.
Yeah, I agree with that. So I do know that mental health is very prevalent. Not enough support. Even when I talk to the teachers in schools, I talk first responders, my ex coworkers in law enforcement or fire department, or anybody that I'm connected to that way. Even family households, there's a lot of abuses and domestics and promiscuous. There's so much things going on there that I see with people. I went on their scene. I stepped into their life for a moment of chaos, and uh just their world was upside down. I mean, the scenes I had to go on where it was horrible. The domestics, the sexual assaults, the suicides, the suicide attempts, the abuse, nonstop, all day, every day. So I did resign. And I had job guilt for 2 years on that, but I was able to know that everybody goes through something. No one's exempt. I had those people thinking the grass is greener. I was like, well, good thing I have no grass in my yard. I don't. I have no grass in my yard. No comparison. There is no grass. Uh, but at the same time, though, I'm aware. I'm aware because I had to go through it. I had to see it. I had to experience it. And I know the people that have gone through it too, those are the ones that self-healed. And then they also went and tried to connect to other fellow helpers in the world to raise that vibration, to let other people know they are not alone. They are not alone in this. They might feel like it. And you know what? It's okay to feel lonely. Everybody feels it. Everybody. Don't feel like, oh, it's only me. I'm only going through this. My life's horrible and everybody else is great. Not true. Not true.
Hmm.
Yeah, you like how I got to speak all that. Yeah, they're like, woo, write it down. Know that you have one life and you're gonna go and fall into a hole. Just don't dig yourself deeper to where you can't come out. We all fall in those holes. Be smart about it. And I did have a friend teach me, for every yes you say, you are saying no to something else. So be careful with your yeses.
Right. I think it's a really good point that everyone is going to suffer. Everyone's going to pain at some point in life. It's part of being human. We can't escape it, but we just have to learn to be resilient, stand up, and say no when it doesn't feel right to us.
I get a shirt that just says no. Just say no. No. And a button. I think I had a button from that Hallmark store that's no, 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 no. Yeah. I had to find that again. But I do. I feel good. I'm glad that I am learning the ins and outs in showbiz. Eventually, all the work that I've done will come out. And to let people know that you have to work and constant work, and it has to be consistent. Just because you got something good one day doesn't mean it's going to be good any other day. You have to be consistent with your life and the choices you make. You have to really take a step back, because if not, then you'll have to go get a lawyer and a cease and desist. Yeah, it'll cost you money too, not just your time and energy and your image. Boo. That's what I'm like. I'm gonna do a GoFundMe. Don't just tease. But I thought, I'm like, everybody else does it. And ultimately, you're responsible for you. Your
Hmm.
character, what you are putting out into the world, is what you're receiving in. You are accountable. Nobody else. Everybody can point the fingers. I am accountable for associating with that person. I know this now. I am taking responsibility. However, I am now aware nobody in that industry part could ever fool me again. I was like, I already learned it. So, I do have people come at me that are credible. I will ask questions, and then I'll say, are you sure you want to stick with that story? We did all the goody research. I was like, not, no. Yep. So yeah, that's where I'm at.
Yeah, I think it's really a good point. You're responsible for you. When I was
Yep.
very sick, I didn't take responsibility for myself. It was other people to fix me, and it never works. People cannot fix you. You have to
Mm-mm.
fix yourself. And sometimes that's very hard when you're trapped in these mental stories of like bipolar, multiple
Yeah.
sclerosis, whatever it may be. But I'm living proof that they don't have to be here forever. I don't have MS anymore. I don't have bipolar. My doctors can't explain it because I stopped taking these thoughts, these beliefs as my truth. I eventually took responsibility for me.
Excellent. And that's all one can do to heal themselves. That's the thing. But there's a lot of people are like, they base their thought process on their emotions, not an analytical thinker, analytical, like, paying attention, doing the research. They're more emotion. I believe it to be true. So it's true. It is true to them, though. It's so true to them when they're in their head. So true. And that's a scary place if they are taken to a dark place in it. So they need to get the help they need by the right people, because there's so many other people will give gimmicks and solutions and it won't work. They'll just take and take and take. So they do have to be careful who they connect with to get the mental help that they need. Very important.
Yeah, because that's one of the things I was a little disappointed in. I had a psychiatrist for 20 years for my bipolar. He never once said, "Why are you taking your thoughts as truth?" And he never once suggested meditation. It was like, "Here, take these pills."
Funny. Yeah. Here's the pills. Here's more prescriptions. I get money from you. So that's the thing. When someone owns a business, how legit is their business? Because they are making money from you. So that's why you have to be careful too. It's very a double-edged sword. You really have to know, but you're aware then. You finally, after all that time, were able to get a redirection because they were keeping you sick.
Right.
Indirectly. Yeah, that's scary. It's like because they had control then. So once somebody can't control you anymore, you got to watch out too, because then they'll try to control their people around you or manipulate them. It's very scary actually. But and now you know meditation, being aware of your thoughts that could actually become your feelings and then your lifestyle. So there is like this huge opening of feeling better now. It feels good, doesn't it, to feel better? It's like, oh, and I've been in those dark times, like, oh, I can feel it though. I'm aware of it. I'm like, oh, this is stinky. Now I know what other people are going through when they're talking about these places. It's don't want to stay here. I'm like, but then I have to process my feelings. Whatever it was, I have to process them out. There are a lot of feelings, and there are different ways of doing it in a healthy manner. And yeah, a healthy manner takes a little bit longer, but it's the right thing to do. Now you start doing reckless behavior, you're only digging yourself deeper in that hole. It says you're in that slippery slide. You don't want to go all the way down. So be careful of how you handle yourself. You have to live with yourself for the rest of your life. I don't know how long it could be, very long or it could be very short, whatever it is. Take care of you.
But in general, life is short. It doesn't matter if it's 10 years or 100 years, it's still relatively
Well, definitely shorter in 10 years. I don't want the 10-year part. I'm in my 40s, so it gets shorter as you get older. You know, you can only live to like maybe 110. You know, it's not forever and eternal. So, I mean, and 110, I'll probably lose my damn mind by 90 if I get lucky. Who knows? My body parts. I mean, just enjoy when you're able to enjoy it, because these years they'll pass you by. And if you want to be stuck in this state of hopelessness and disparity and all that comes into that, then you will. It's you have your power to change your life. Nobody else. They can influence you. They're an influence, good or bad, but it is you that holds that power.
right. And that's what I didn't realize, that I'm in control. I always put them on a pedestal. Oh, they're the knowledgeable ones. They know what's best for me. No, I'm the only one that lives in my body. I live with me. They don't know my day-to-day, don't know my thought process. They don't know any of that. They're just guessing what's best for me, but only I know what's best for me. Others can just
Absolutely.
guess.
Absolutely. You got it and I got it. Now the rest of the people that are going through it and they're not getting it because they didn't connect with good people, like I said, we are in charge of our lives. Who we decide to bring in, those influences, could be good, could be bad. We have to be careful who we stick around with, because that will feed our mind, soul, body, everything. And it could be bad for us, or it could be very good and you start thriving, or you're like, I'm inspired. I have a mentor. I got this book. Can't always be that way though. I wish we'd be like on this cloud nine of, yeah. Then there's other ones where it's like, oh, what is this? This is no. This is not good for you. So you gotta get out. It's like abort this mission, abort these people, get out now. Sirens are going off. And trust your intuition. If something doesn't seem right, no matter what they're saying, trust it. Pay attention to you.
Yeah, that was the big thing. Pay attention to yourself. What is your gut feeling about this? What's your own instincts, your own inner knowing on this? Like, this doesn't feel right. And when you were talking, there's this thing, misery loves company. And when I went to these support groups for whether it was a bipolar or MS or anything, I couldn't be there. It was just, they're just sharing more misery. And it's just like, staying in misery just keeps you in misery. You got to escape from that.
Grow, learn, understand. And sometimes you won't understand. I just talked to someone that did an interview and she got abandoned by these group of friends and she didn't know why. And she's demanding years later, I want to know why. I said, guess what? There might not be a real why. You'll never know why. And you have to be okay with that. If you're holding it on years later, you're hurting yourself. Sometimes you'll never get an explanation of why people treat you the way you got treated. They will never give it. They'll never be understanding. So understand that there might not be an understanding like that. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
You'll never get that sorry. You'll never get that explanation on why, because they're garbage people. And that's why. Just make up why it was and let it go and move on. You can call them out, but they might not give you a response after. They might have other people do their dirty work. But at the end of the day, why? Why not? They did it to other people, they did it to you. And you have to let go. Those people weren't meant to be in your life anymore. That's the thing. People get very comfortable with people, even if they're good or bad. They get stuck with that. They just get stuck, and they have to let go. Make room for the good people. Make room for them.
Yeah, that's really important, right? Make room for the good people, because that's one of the hardest things for the mind to accept, that there is no answers. The mind's always obsessed with, I have to know, I have to find out, I have to figure this out. Sometimes there are no answers.
Yeah.
As like last time my neurologist saw me, he questioned me for 45 minutes trying to figure out and understand what I did. He couldn't accept the fact that there are no answers, nothing logical that would make sense. There's only one doctor who got me at a conference. He's like, oh, you stop believing your mind as your truth. It was that simple. And that's what we have to realize. Sometimes there are no answers. And for this person that can't let go of the past, that's the mind's clingy that way.
I know it is something. But the more you educate yourself, I have my sister-in-law too. She's done her name's Melissa, beautiful. Just she's a military wife and mother, so they're always moving around so much. She doesn't have that stability. She misses her family, but she stayed strong and devoted to her family. But we shared some things, and she's like, Nicole, you can't get blood from a stone. Some people don't care. No matter how much you care, they don't. And you have to take that into consideration. Uh-huh.
Right? You have to make yourself number one. You have to make yourself.
Yeah. And
You-
not constantly give and settle for people that don't care about you the way you do. It just is. And some people don't want to accept it, so they'll be in this torment for years. Just know who you're dealing with, know what you're capable of, protect yourself, love yourself,
Mhm.
work on yourself, and don't settle for garbage people. Don't do it. Even if they're family members, you don't have to be around that. Love yourself enough to have healthy boundaries.
Right. And it's okay to say no. Honor yourself.
Yeah, I know you like that, huh? Oh, I bet you're going to be saying no a lot. You're like, yes, it's okay to say no.
No,
I'm glad
well,
you
I
like that.
already do. I don't fall into the people pleaser mind. I had to break myself from that habit that I have to be there for everyone. It's like, no, I have to be there for myself first.
Absolutely. We got it though, but we had hard lessons, didn't we? That's what happens comes with age, you don't get this to this age with not learning some lessons and applying them later. Like, I'm going to step back from that one. You already see it happen. You start seeing all these red flags, and you start thinking back about something else that happened, and it's correlating. You're like, oh no, no, no.
Not going down that road again.
No, you just see me. I start seeing the red flag. I'm like, I do react. Like, I'm gonna go over here. Excuse me. Like, walk away from it.
Right. I think it's another thing, people can't walk away sometimes. They just can't walk away. So you have to give them cease and desist orders to get them to walk
Yeah,
away.
well, that's just that's a whole new thing with don't use my image to think people that I'm part of your network, which I am not. And I did volunteer, and she did make a lot of money for me. And people were like, "Oh, she let you there for free." I was like, "Actually, I paid for this convention. She made $1,500. I paid for the gas. I drove her down to California. I paid for part of the hotel, her food. Don't think it's free. It wasn't free for. She got free for me because I didn't get a dime of anything. I didn't even ask for anything. Wanted to help her out, but I thought I was getting used more and more. And I have a lot of friends in the showbiz, and she was excited that I had them as interviews. It was weird. So I was getting used. It was no longer volunteering and helping out. She saw that profit coming in, so I'll pass. No, thank you. Good
Yeah.
luck. Don't add me. She didn't add that page. I wouldn't care so much, but I looked at the following group as a new page, and it was all everybody that I follow. That's my followers, and they started following her back. That's all the correlation it was. And everybody's like, "Oh, I thought that was your page." I said, "It is not my page." Do not give money to her. Do not subscribe. I mean, you can do whatever you want, but just don't think it's for me and you're supporting me. It's not me. Zero. So that's the thing. Dirty business. I was like, that is, it's scary actually that people could do that. And there's a lot of fake accounts and a lot of people think they're following somebody or interacting with somebody they're really not. That's what makes it really scary. I was like, oh no. And they're like, so this isn't you, or how do I know I'm really talking to you now? So I do a voice message. I'm like, stop that right now. You just talked to me on the phone today. I had Kyle Rappaport. He's like, I said, that Instagram one is not mine though. That Vegas Views. Mine says Nicole Vegas Views, which I copyright. That's my show. Before it was Vegas Views when I came up with it. But there's some have to be careful. I mean, I'm going to have these lessons because I am new and I just can't apply my nonprofit, my volunteering like I do out here to showbiz. I'm going to have contracts from now on and really careful with who I connect with. That's all. I had to learn. I wish the other ones would have told me. They came out afterwards and messaged me all this. I was like, why did you tell me before? And they're like, oh, we just knew that you like connecting with people and you were so happy. We didn't want to ruin it. I'm like, ruin it? You just ruin it. Don't put it on my account. Give you a heads up. I give people a heads up. Give them a heads up right now. Boo. Boo to that people.
Yeah, but at least you have that awareness to change course. A lot of people are unaware and they don't change course.
Yeah.
They'll keep repeating the same mistake over and over and over again.
Well, that means they're not ready to let go. They just like there's a lot of domestics I went on, when I patrolled around, and for some reason they were hoping this person's going to change, and some people they didn't make it. It's really sad. Some of those they didn't change. I was like, oh, you need stick up. They didn't want to stick up for themselves. They're like, well, he said he was sorry. It's scary. So until you're done getting yourself beat up in every way, it could be physically, mentally, emotionally. I guess that it's how much you want to take of it. When you had enough, you had enough. And some people, they just they're hoping it'll change, I think, and the people will change, but they don't. I mean, if they keep showing you that's who they are, believe them. Believe them. I'm telling people, listen to me. I hope you listen to this. Believe them. If they show you that they are this way, they're money hungry, or they don't have money of their own, so they want your money. Stay away from them. Stay away from them. Or they know that people always try to drop off their kids. They're like, oh, well, you're home. You're not working right now. Can't you just watch my kids? Oh, yeah. No, I'm not babysitter for everybody else. I used to help out all the time. Had to say no. Yeah, there's zero. No. I got used a lot. But I liked helping people out. And I told people once I find out they're used, I said, that's their karma then. That's not mine. I had good intentions. If someone's taking, eventually it's going to catch up with them. And it does. It shows. Sometimes it takes a little bit, but eventually you sit back and you're like, I told everybody, see? And then, they continue on that bad path and they have ill will and they're trying to take from people and use people. It does catch up with them. Get my popcorn. Like, like, oh, let me rewind that part. Can I? Yeah. Yep. It eventually catches up. So do good to people and you don't have to worry about anything coming back on you. Do good to people. Don't use them. Don't hurt them. Don't manipulate them because they think I had guys, single guys, and these girls were watch out for those manipulators. They will use and abuse, take your money. And they think they like you. I have 3 sons, so I have to watch out for that. Oh, I'm gonna watch out for that. They actually have my son's in the Marines, a 22-year-old. He has courses now on what to look out for the women that want to marry military men. They have courses on it now. They have courses. But knowledge is power. So I mean, yeah, there's so much that goes on in this world. Pay attention, first of all, to what's going on with your life first. Pay attention. If you don't like something, do the work and change it. Find the resources, educate yourself, connect with people that went through something, and maybe they can give you the tools to help you out. They can't do your work, as we've been saying this whole interview, but they can support you. They're not going to do your work. They're not going to pick up your mess and save you and stuff like that. That's your responsibility, but they can help support you. Like, hey, I see that happen to you. I'm sorry that happened to you. No, I won't be engaging or paying or do weird stuff. Just be careful. That's all. I have to be more careful, huh? The older you get, the more cautious. I have more questions now than just saying, "Oh yes, I'm going to help out." No, what's this, and who are you, and what's your organization, and how long have you been doing it for, and do you make your own profit from it? How many people have worked with you? A lot of questions. It doesn't hurt to ask questions. If they can't answer things, stay away from them.
Hmm.
Ask some questions, and if they can't answer it, legit questions, stay away. Because that means they're crooks and cons, and they're just trying to get something from you. Stay away. But yeah,
Determine their motivation.
we should have some questions. You know what? That'd be good. Some 10 questions to make sure that they're ask some questions. They have to be able to answer them.
Yeah. Yep. Just figure out their motivation. What is their motivation? What do they want anything? Yeah. What's their intention? What's their motivation? Yeah,
the what and the why. I think I learned that in acting class. I'm going to pay better attention because I have to apply that in my real life. What and why? Why are all these people coming at me? What are they doing? Some good. They want to work on upcoming projects. See, I'm going to do another upcoming project once this is finished. Desert Fiends. You should look up the trailer. But if you don't like gory and horror movies, don't watch it for your discussion device. It's called Desert Fiends. It's on Cool Duder. Sean C. Phillips is the writer-director. He came out with his brother. His brother's a writer too, Ethan Phillips, but I didn't get to see him. They're in California. But I love that connection and collaborating and building something together. So that part's really cool to me, where anybody could be part of it. So I'm hoping. Did you write a book? Do you have any books out?
Yes, I've written 2 books. Oh. One's called I Don't Dwell, my first book, how I stopped dwelling on thoughts. And the next book was Stop Breaking the Habit of Negative Thought Addiction. Okay, I'm going to write that and look it up.
I'm a slow reader. I told people that. I'm still reading my one friend's book. I might have to do the audio, but I want to give tools. So if something has helped you and people like to read, you should put that in this link of this interview.
Yeah, all my stuff is out there. I'm out there. People can find me that I'm out there. But so how can people find you? You're at Nicole Vegas Views. Is that how they can find you?
Nicole Vegas is on my Facebook. I have a Nicole Vegas Views. It's a private group where people could share and support each other and do a lot of interviews. I'm only trying to cut it down now to 2 a week. I was like flooded. I was missing interviews. Somebody got mad. They're like, "You missed it." I'm like, I had so many. I pre-booked before I started. I was like, "Oh my goodness, it was too many." So now I have to pace myself. I don't want to ever do that to somebody again where I forgot their interview. I was like, "Oh no, that was the worst feeling in the world for me. Not responsible, and I wasted someone's time." She said, I was like, "I am sorry." And then Nicole Butler _Vegas on Instagram, and then my IMBD if you want to see my bio. I have a bio on there, Nicole. And if you Google me, but you have to do the name Nicole Butler Vegas. Even on the YouTube, it's Nicole Vegas Views on YouTube. I just made my own YouTube. Finally, you'll see everything on there. But Nicole Butler Vegas, if you Google me, you'll see all these things pop up. I didn't know. I was like, oh. They had newspaper articles, what I did with volunteering. I was like, oh, they got some goody stuff on there. Who knew?
All right, Nicole, thank you for your time today. Really appreciate it. I have all your contact information in the show notes. So I really appreciate your time. Fascinating conversation. I wasn't really sure where we're going to go today, but it was really good for about standing up for ourselves.
Yeah, thank you so much for taking the time.
Thank you for tuning in to this episode of Wellness Wednesdays with Sam, the Miracle Man. And we hope you'll continue to discover the power of resilience and the steps we can all take to create our own miracles while on our bumpy path to well-being. But just remember, be present, find clarity, and also subscribe so we can all continue to share this life-changing journey together. See you next Wednesday.